Hello and welcome into Turner Gymnasium in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's the home opener for the Lynchburg Hornets as they play host to the Knights of Southern Virginia. After a marvelous first year under head coach Kevin Cardoza, there's plenty of buzz surrounding this year's squad. For the Knights, SVU begins to usher in a new era under head coach Debbie Baker with a host of new faces looking to make an immediate impact. I'm Joe Brennan, joined alongside my good friend and partner, Kyle Haney. Kyle, we should be in store for a very competitive contest tonight.
Two undefeated ball clubs early in the year, Joe. Something's got to give. You summed it up perfectly. Both teams are really feeling good about themselves in the early phase of the season. First midweek match of the year. Sometimes that's got a little different vibe than when you go on the road to one of those tournaments where you play 3 or 4 matches in 24 hours. This is going to be center stage. We got the beautiful new lighting here inside Turner. Nice crowd is developing, and I think we're in store for a really good volleyball game too.
Yeah, you mentioned the new. There's a whole lot new this year from last year just in Turner Gymnasium alone. You got the new electronic scores table, new lights here, new uniforms for the Lynchburg Hornets as they're rocking the all-whites. And what's so interesting to see is where this team is at right now just in terms of hype and anticipation for the season compared to a year ago.
Yeah, really it is. Last year, I think expectations were high, confidence was high, but it was Kevin Cardoza's first season. It was a new regime here at Lynchburg. Everybody, including Coach K himself, was trying to feel out how that was going to go after a good year last year. I think obviously the expectations will be a bit higher this season, Joe, and I think the confidence also is a little bit higher for Lynchburg too. You talked about SVU with a little bit of a new look, some new faces. Lynchburg has that as well.
Yeah, Lynchburg with 4 new transfers this season along with 1 freshman. However, she'll be sidelined for the remainder of the season due to an preseason injury. But this is a Lynchburg squad that returns 84% of their production from a year ago, and really the whole beef with that comes from Bree Spainhour. Besides that, if Spainhour was still in the mix, they'd have 99% of it. But she unfortunately suffered an ACL injury of last spring, so she'll be out for the entirety of this season. But will take on somewhat of a similar role that Maya Green had last year for the Hornets.
Yeah, it's a senior class for Lynchburg that came to Lakeside Drive with massive hopes and expectations. And I think they're seeing, hey, we can realize some of those dreams this year. Now, again, some of those new faces in there that I know you're getting ready to mention have, I guess, altered the rotation a little bit for Lynchburg. Some of those big forces that you talked about that Lynchburg has coming back actually didn't play as much in that opening weekend. Now, as you and any other sports fan knows, that can change from game to game, set to set in a volleyball match.
Without a doubt. We'll definitely have our focus on today's game on a lot of those big hitters, which very much so come from those new faces on each respective side. But you mentioned Kevin Cardoza, and the coaching is one thing that really, really stands out. Because in his first season, I mean, this is a squad where he basically just took the team that was already here and now has had the ability to bring in his own players, really create that own culture. And this program is looking like they have a chance to really compete for an ODAC title.
And I think with Coach Cardoza, recruiting is a strength. He did a lot of that at some of his previous destinations like Virginia Tech and the University of Tennessee. So not a big surprise that he would get some major firepower and talent in here recruiting. And as you and I know, he's that kind of guy. When you talk to him, it fires you up. I mean, it's not a surprise that players would want to play for Coach K. He really is. He's intense, but not in a way that scares you. It's in a way that motivates you.
And on the other side, you have Debbie Baker, who has established the culture and the tradition for the Knights. In her 8th season, a 3-time conference champion. All those years had 20 or more wins. Coach of the Year in 2024. And she's someone that doesn't necessarily rebuild. It's a lot of reloading. And we're seeing that this year with 11 newcomers, 6 of which are freshmen, 5 through the portal.
No doubt about it with SVU. A tournament team last year. They won the USA South. This is a tournament team, and this team is another squad that will have high hopes, and their geography is fun. I mean, they go border to border, coast to coast to find the talent there at Southern Virginia. It's very impressive what Debbie Baker and her husband John have done over the years there in Buena Vista.
And we're talking a little bit about these transfers. Why not dive into it a little bit more and highlight Aubrey Packer, the sophomore outside hitter for the Knights out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Comes from Utah Valley. Did not play her freshman season, but through the first 3 games, she has really lit things up. 19, 18, and 11 kills through their first 3 games.
118 total attacks for Aubrey Packer. Next closest, 2 players share that with 50 apiece. So, Joe, that tells you she is the feature offensive option. They are going to feed Aubrey Packer. They're going to get her a ton of sets. She's going to have a ton of swings, and Lynchburg will have to try to stop her.
And on the other side, it's the outside hitter from Lynchburg, Virginia, and Kate Hardy, a Mercer transfer that did not play indoor volleyball with her time with the Bears. Was a beach volleyball player, now comes to the Hornets, and through their first games, she's second in the conference in kills per game.
Yeah, Hardy is a local legend from the Lynchburg Red Devils. She was a state champion there, a Virginia State Player of the Year, and she really had her options coming out of high school of where she wanted to go. She wanted to do the beach thing, did that at Mercer. Now she's back on the hardwood. A little bit of a transition there, but she seems to be not having too many growing pains, Joe.
Yeah, it should be a good one. We've got a whole lot to talk about in the first contest of the season here in the Hill City. Joe Brennan, Kyle Haney. We'll be right back on LHSN and FloSports.
Think a private education is too expensive? Think again. At the University of Lynchburg, you can get a personalized education for the cost of a state school. If you're commuting and you get our top scholarships, you could pay much less. And you get all that without the hassle of giant lecture halls. Our faculty know your name here and do more than just teach. You might even do research together and plan out your next career moves. Every great college has a great city. For Lynchburg, we are near urban areas with lots of restaurants, shopping, and events. Plus, we are one of the top schools in the area. Come see for yourself.
Get your career in the game by enrolling in the University of Lynchburg MBA program with an emphasis in sport management. This program opens the doors to new possibilities for a variety of careers, from being an athletic director or working in athletic administration to working for professional organizations, your favorite team, to running a local Parks and Rec department. And employers are
And we welcome you back into Turner Gymnasium on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Joe Brennan, Kyle Haney. Kyle, these are 2 squads that we've talked about through their first 3 and 4 games respectively that opening weekend. It's a small sample size, but these teams have performed excellently, and we can look at the numbers right now and just what these teams have done through those opening contests.
Yeah, there's a few that are going to jump out at you, and then as you see, a lot that are pretty much the same. How about blocks per set? Southern Virginia at 3.2, Lynchburg just at 1.1. You and I were both kind of just listening around inside practice yesterday, and Kevin Cardoza talked about Southern Virginia and their blocking. Very tall up front. They block well. He said, we got to be quick. We got to be up-tempo. And that was one of the keys for Lynchburg last year when they took off. More up-tempo volleyball, shorter sets, flatter sets, try to get into the offense a little bit quicker rather than having the looping high ball sets that are a little bit easier for the blockers to cover.
Yeah, and Cardoza was saying yesterday in practice, in volleyball, speed's going to beat size 9 out of 10 times. That's the recipe. And this is a squad that has a whole lot of athleticism and can beat you in a variety of ways. But the blocks is not something that we've seen through those first 4 contests. And he told us pregame, while they're not getting a whole lot of denials that terminate the point, it is mainly their positioning that sets up that back line to be in the right spots for the proper dig.
Yeah, in the stat sheet, you only get credit for a block if it leads directly to a point. So that doesn't factor in what coaches will talk about, the positive block touches, those balls that get slowed down so you can dig them a little easier. And just the fact that you seal off a section of the court makes it a little bit easier for that back line to dig, pass, and receive. So that's going to be a key, I think, for both teams. Just real quick before we leave the blocking, Southern Virginia 3.18 blocks per set. Lynchburg is 1.06. So that does tell you some of the story, but as you pointed out, and Kevin Cardoza told us, it doesn't tell the entire story.
Yeah, without a doubt. And these are two teams that are still figuring out and finding their identity, still trying different starting lineups. And we've seen Lynchburg especially go with a lot of different faces. And a big problem, but a great problem to have as a head coach, is you've got so much depth.
There's a lot of depth. Coach Cardoza said the gym is as competitive as I've ever seen it at any of my stops. There's not a lot of separation between the players that are playing all 16 sets. Lynchburg has a group of players that have played every single set this year, and those players who maybe only have one or two sets. So depth will be a strength for Lynchburg this season.
For Lynchburg, that starting lineup will start with the transfer setter, Alexis Scipione, followed by a tandem of liberos with Cassie Blackmore and Morgan Clark. And you've got Tori Williamson, Ava Meinhardt, Leah DiNardo, Kate Hardy, Jackie Bryant. And we talked about Hardy's ability to really thump it. Jacqueline Bryant, another one of those transfers that is looking to be explosive for this year's squad.
Jackie Bryant, second on the team right now in kills, second in kills per set, second in total attacks. So she is not exactly a long step behind Kate Hardy. And I think Jackie Bryant has had some times where she's really taken over a ball game. She can do that again. Lynchburg is so multifaceted, so dangerous in all the spots. Let's not forget those middles, DiNardo and Meinhardt. You know, Lynchburg really took off last year when they set the middles more. So Lynchburg really at any given time will have three great attacking options on the court.
For the Knights, Talia Quinn gets the nod at setter. Gracie Fulton at libero. And you've got Broadbent at the outside alongside Bailey Savage, Summer Hahn, and Aubrey Parker to hold in that middle. This is a squad that does bring a lot of size to the table. We saw that in the blocks numbers. It should be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a key, and I think we'll see if we get the second setter, Lucy Richens, in there as well for SVU. We'll figure out what kind of system they want to run. There's a good opening serve. We're underway, Joe.
This one pushed through, set up by Fulton. Scipione to the outside, just barely touched over, but kept alive. A good rally to kick things off as it's dug out by Williamson. Laid up for DiNardo, who can't find it. Just a tick outside. SVU takes the opening point.
A good opening sequence there. I think Lynchburg got a swing that they wanted from DiNardo. Just a little better placement next time.
Quinn once again from the service line. Sends this one across. Scipione up top. The other way, sent back there. You immediately see the size that the Knights bring to the table. Got a ricochet there, but finds no man's land and falls down for Lynchburg's first point.
Hardy's going to get the point there, and that is what you'll see a lot of against a good blocking team is the rebuild. You have to rebuild when you get sent back. Lynchburg did it successfully there. Force those good blocking teams to block a lot over and over.
That'll be Bryant from the back line, who's really had a strong start from that service line this season. Had 7 aces in his second game of the year. Dug out, and a tricky spot for Quinn. Can't find a maroon jersey. Lynchburg with back-to-back points.
Tori Williamson there. She's one of those returners that you spoke of. Just a class player. Already got a couple double-doubles this year. That would be double-digit terminations and double-digit digs for Tori Williamson.
Williamson last year finished top 10 in the conference for points, top 20 in the conference for digs. As Lynchburg will make their first substitution of the day, as Abby Barlow will check in, a defensive specialist for the Hornets. We really saw her split time last year at that libero spot with Clark. Lynchburg can't get this one over. Point goes to the Knights.
Yeah, good serve there. Tori Williamson just a little bit, a fraction late on the draw there to get that serve that was really coming down with the heavy topspin.
Bailey Savage sends this one across. Popped up. Right into the net, Ryan Vale, the Central Wyoming College transfer, can't get it across.
Better job in the serve receive. That's an area that all volleyball coaches are talking about. Hey, we have to serve tough. We got to be good in serve receive. Here's Cassie Blackmore on as sort of a serving specialist role.
Kept alive by the Knights. Popped into no man's land, still in the air, and Barlow sends it across. Nice deflection, ricocheted onto SVU's side of the floor. A long ball that can't find inbounds.
I was going to say, nice read there by Blackmore, Joe. If you're set up properly, that ball that's coming in at your eye line, head high, you know that one's going to be out. Good read by Blackmore.
I mentioned Blackmore's specialty as a server. She's someone that was the lead libero in 2022 and 23 as this ball falls down for an SVU point. Then last season, just played in 15 matches with 24 sets played. To start off the season, she's been in 16 of the 17 sets.
Yeah, you go back to 2022, Clark Barlow and Blackmore, all really, really good. There wasn't a lot of separation there. That was a thumper. Nice job by SVU to keep it alive.
Two shoot, dug out. Free ball the other way. Scipione upstairs. This one sent back. Talk about the size. Summer Hahn says no.
And that's the great blocking right there. That's what a great tight pressed block to the net can give you. You do not give the hitter any room to operate. So we'll see if Kate Hardy makes an adjustment next time or just tries to power through that block.
What a serve. Tori Williamson couldn't handle it. Gracie Fulton with the first ace of the day.
That's a good start for Southern Virginia. I mean, really, you're coming into a different gym. Not a long trip from Buena Vista, but this is a fantastic start right now for the Knights.
Fulton, one of two returning All-USA South second-team selections from 2024. Right now, she's putting on a show for the service line, Kyle.
Yeah, you got to try to get her off of there, and we'll see if she tries to serve Barlow or Williamson again. Those seem to be the options, and that makes sense with the libero Morgan Clark in the back row as well. You probably want to go away from her. She did.
Popped up, Williamson. The other side, delicate push, dug out by Scipione. Williamson with a beautiful cross-court ball. SVU recovers. Barlow the dig. Over to Williamson once again, and another great dig out by the libero. What a rally. Up top, Hardy. And this time, Packer finds the kill. Off the tool, out of bounds. SVU on a tear right now.
That was our best rally of the night right there, Joe. A lot of back and forth. Lynchburg got a good swing with Williamson, but SVU prevails. This is a nice run. I think we could see a timeout soon if this run continues.
Trying to push it across and does so successfully. Hahn once again. Hahn, someone that really came alive towards the end of last season. And right now, having Cardozo want to talk things over with his squad. We'll step aside momentarily. Knights out in front, 9-4.
Want to have some outdoor adventures while getting a degree at the same time? At the University of Lynchburg, we have an on-campus zip line and road course. Plus, we offer adventure trips that cost less than a cup of coffee. And did I mention our beautiful scenery? We're a university for students looking for something more than just books. Welcome to your new adventure experience.
When creating a sustainable future, your choices matter, even your choice of a college. The University of Lynchburg is the first college in Virginia to go carbon neutral. Our dining hall is green restaurant certified. We compost all of our food waste and purchase our electricity from landfill gas. Now we're turning a hazardous lake into a thriving urban wetland. When you choose Lynchburg, you leave a smaller footprint while building a better tomorrow.
And we welcome you back into Turner Gymnasium on Wayne Profit Court. Joe Brennan joined alongside Kyle Haney. It's the Knights out in front 9-4 here in the opening set.
Really controlling things at the net, Joe, which we said would be a strength of theirs. Blocking, size. Right now the Knights are using that. Summer Hahn got that last point on a very good net joust. And there's another one. That's going to be wayward, though, so Lynchburg will finally break the long serving run. Hornets really needed that.
Hahn had the power, just not the location on that one. Sometimes that's all it takes, just one to turn the tide. SVU had the last 6 points.
Yeah, really impressive run, and probably cliche, but again, you have to avoid those as much as possible, being on the receiving end of them anyway.
And this is a Lynchburg squad that really wants to serve the ball. They like to do so aggressively, and that's a big thing that they identify their team with.
Yeah, more zones and locations given from the bench this year. Last year, Kevin Cardozo said, I really don't want them thinking too much on the serve. So we just said, hey, go with your best serve. This season, there is a little bit more, let's pick out a player on that back row, serve to some seams, serve some conflict zones, and we'll see how that works out for Lynchburg. I definitely think they can handle it. They've got the mentality and also the skill set.
10-5, Knights out in front. Lynchburg last year got the best of SVU in a 4-set affair. Bryson sends this one over, and she gets an ace. Second one of the day for SVU.
Yeah, can't really account for that. The ball hits the top of the net. Not a lot you can do on the other side. Just kind of shrug it off and try to get the next one.
Richens, one of the 6 freshmen on this year's squad, was a talented, highly touted prospect out of high school. One too many for the Hornets.
It starts with a tough serve again. Lynchburg just not great in serve receive right now. They're having a hard time getting in system, which is the setter taking touch 2 in the sequence.
And something we saw on that Friday set of games for Lynchburg was they got punched in the mouth in both contests right out of the gate. Got really run out of the building in those first 2 opening sets. And then it happened once again in the third set. Every single time they got punched and they hit back, were able to come away with 5-set victories in both affairs. But nevertheless, that was something that really stood out.
Yeah, that's a great point because, winning that first set is not 100%, as Lynchburg proved in those first 2 meetings of this season. But really, you want to get off on a strong start. So the fact that Lynchburg dropped those, a little bit troubling, a little bit puzzling. Good play there for the Hornets. It was 5-set victories over Washington College and William Patterson on Friday, and then the sweeps came on Saturday against Mount Aloysius and Keene.
Yeah, really a tale of 2 days, if you will, with back-to-back 5-set wins, then back-to-back sweeps. Big swing, beautifully dug out by Clark, but can't keep it in play.
Yeah, that's one where one of those positive block touches would help because Clark did all she could do laying out just to get some skin on that and actually got it up, but touched the antenna there, and that's no good.
Packer over to Williamson. Scipione up top. Goes right into the net from the Juniata transfer in Bryant.
Tight block up front again. Lynchburg's going to have to try to figure that out. It could be quicker. It could be more tempo on the pass and then the set. That could help out.
Scipione once again over to Bryant and sent back the other way. Hahn once again led this team in blocks a season ago with 108, racking them up here today.
Really impressive for SVU what they're doing up front. They are making life difficult for the pins and the middles for Lynchburg.
Scipione, this time from the middle of the floor. A big swing from Hardy that's kept in play. An attacking error from Savage as she tried to fade away from the pin. That's a tough ball to hit.
It really is, and Lynchburg did make the adjustment there. Hardy attacking from the back row. Sometimes it's as simple as that. Try something. Like everybody wants to get up and take the big swings from the pins. Yes, that's a great way to score, but there are other ways to score too, especially when the other team's got you walled off.
I mean, this has really been a defensive affair thus far as that one, Scott, is out of play. SVU with a hitting percentage of under 7%. Lynchburg at -9. I mean, it has not been a solid hitting affair thus far. But don't expect it to last for long.
Good serve there. Lynchburg hit 114 against William Patterson. They ended up winning that game, but they've been over 200 in the hitting percentage in the other 3 ball games. So you're right. They haven't had these troubles over the course of a whole match anyway yet this season. This is a good test right here for Lynchburg to see how they can dig themselves out of it.
Yeah, we're so early into this affair, a contest that very well could go to 5 sets. Savage records the kill right on that far line as Meinhardt heads to the sideline for the Hornets.
Yeah, went over top of the block that time. That's another good way to beat a tight-pressed block. Try to go right over it. Sometimes you can get the high hands and it'll skip out of bounds.
Scipione sends it across. Bryant can't get it over. Another error for Lynchburg.
Yeah, definitely an error there on Bryant, Joe. But again, I think it's the result of that great block from Southern Virginia. Jackie Bryant thinks, I got to do something. I got to force this in or go down the line, go down the net. Those kinds of things start popping in your head.
Yeah, when you try and thread the needle like that because of the rejections that we're seeing from the middle blockers. Oh, my goodness. Ryan Vale once again, the team's leader in blocks. It's her 18th of the year.
Yeah, it's a solo stuff. I mean, just great timing, great feel at the net from Vale to get that one down.
Brian will give it a go. This time threads the needle.
Yeah, I like that there, and that's what the good hitters do. They never stop swinging. Yes, they're going to mix in some shots here or there, and that when you talk about shots versus swings, Joe, the shots are those change-ups and those tips and those floaters. But the good hitters never get too far away from the hard swings. That was a good rip.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot from Bryant as Scipione gets the ace. But she's someone that when she swings it, she can put a whole lot of power behind it and fit it into a shoebox.
Yeah, live right arm for Jacqueline Bryant at the net. And then also, as you said, at the service line, Bryant, the team leader in aces, although Scipione, a few more of those, she'll be on her heels pretty quick.
Up top, this one sent back, kept alive by the Knights. Big swing, popped up by Scipione. Now this ball sails. Hardy's saying it got a tip. She wants the tool, not getting the call.
Yeah, thought there was a touch there. If if that was acting, that was a pretty good acting job from Hardy. We need to get her into theater classes because she had me convinced that she saw a tip. But sometimes you do have a little bit of salesmanship or saleswomanship.
You
perhaps.
got to.
Yeah, why not, right? Looking for the high hands again, the tip.
Yeah. You see Hardy turning back and having a word with our official.
And that is, at the higher levels, reviewable, and that is oftentimes when you see the coaches take their review is to see if you got a fingertip. Well, a lot of times you can slow it down and see a finger bend back or the rotation of the ball even changes.
Big swing to Nardo. What a recovery by the Knights. Packer the other way. It's the white. Right back down, point Lynchburg.
Yeah, got to be persistent here if you're Lynchburg. And you saw some persistence from the Knights, Joe. They're blocking well, they're moving well. They're also getting the scrambles out there. They're keeping some balls alive. So really you have to love the Knights' effort right now early in this one.
And if you're Lynchburg, you get to a stage in this set where you really need to string a couple together. And right now, DiNardo, a big piece in that.
Yeah, you got to go on a run here if you're Lynchburg. You're down 6. SVU has won the first to 20 battle. That's something that a lot of coaches talk about and look at as a stat. So Lynchburg needs to get hot.
Talk about getting hot. Back to back to back for the Hornets. And Baker wants to talk things over. 15-20. SVU out in front. We'll step aside on FloSports.
Lynchburg is all about you, your ideas, and your goals. We've got one professor for every 10 students, so you can get all the support you need. In the classroom, in the lab, or in nature. You'll learn by putting yourself out there, and we're right there with you.
pretty.
SVU out in front by 5 here in the opening set, 15-20. It's been a defensive affair, just 5 kills on each side, 5 attack errors for the Knights, 9 for Lynchburg thus far. But Lynchburg has had vastly more total attempts, 29 to the Knights' 18.
Yeah, I think that's a stat you can feel confident with and know, hey, they're going to start falling in. Shots are going to start falling in.
There's another one. Tori Williamson makes it 4 consecutive points for Lynchburg.
Yeah, on cue, it fell in. Sorry.
They're starting to work themselves back into this ball game. And we were talking about it early on. It's just so early into the set, you get a chance to see the adversity this squad's got. And right now, they're showing a whole lot of grit.
Starting from the service line, again, it's not an ace, but the tough serve leads to the over dig, which Leah DiNardo just deposits straight down. Good timing on that from DiNardo. That was too easy for her.
Madland will check back in, one of the key starters for the Knights. Started in all 34 contests last year. Had a service error for Lynchburg. A little bit of momentum swinging back for SVU.
Yeah, Bryant's going to come out in place of Abby Barlow, so 3 really good passers on the back row. I think that's an error that Coach Cardoza and his staff can live with. I mean, Bryant was hot from the service line. Why not try to even turn it up another notch and keep the heat on?
Dug out by Williamson. Up top, DiNardo with a thumper.
Yeah, go quick to the middle there. DiNardo, so athletic. She just springs up. It's so impressive to watch her jump. She's one of those jumpers, Joe, that doesn't have to load up, doesn't really have to use the arms and the shoulders to swing up. It's just a pogo stick, just bang up to the ceiling.
The pin hitter. Beautiful swing by Packer, but dug out by Blackmore. And Ava Meinhardt wants to get in on the action.
Very good from Meinhardt. Lynchburg's got that momentum back. You can feel it. I know we're a little bit biased, but you can feel it. Hornets are within 2. They've got some traction.
Up top, this swing down on Lynchburg's side of the floor. A nice hit from Broadbent. She's a freshman, but was a 4-year varsity starter in high school and all-state and all-region selection. A part of a really, really talented freshman class for the Knights.
Yeah, as a first year, if you're in this rotation with all the talent that SVU has, that says a lot, and Broadbent has played every set so far.
Meinhardt, a beautiful ball from the outside hitter Packer to keep it going. Once again, a nice dig. The defensive hustle pays off. Defense to offense for Aubrey Packer.
Hustle's the exact right word there for the Knights. I mean, what a sequence. Several times they had to scramble and sprawl, throw the pancakes out there, kept it alive, got rewarded. Within 2 now.
Williamson with a dig. Clark puts it up right back, give and go. Williamson earns the kill. Barlow gives her a nice little shove.
Yeah, Barlow's always so much fun to watch out there. She brings so much energy and spirit, and her post-point reactions are you could fill up an entire scrapbook just with her face and all the fun things she does.
You hear the term locker room guy a lot in sports. Look nowhere else than number 6 in white. Packer on the line, a beautiful ball.
Yeah, that's placement and velocity. That's almost impossible to dig up if you're Kate Hardy. She was leaning the other direction as well, thinking maybe the block would close off that pin. Packer found a gap. Here we go. Set point.
Richens back in the contest. She'll serve it from the back line. Her ball's up and across, dug out by Williamson, goes right over. And Summer Hahn finds no man's land for the Knights to take set number 1. Kyle, first takeaways from our opening frame?
SVU is as good as we thought they would be. They played well. I think it's a fairly even match. I would be shocked if we saw a sweep tonight, but the Knights really look tough early. Lynchburg's got to settle themselves and get ready for a tough set, too.
Lynchburg on their heels as we head into set number 2. SVU out in front.
It's almost April, and you guessed it, Give Day is coming.
It's been 119 years since the university was founded by Josephus Hopwood in April of 1903 with a gift of $100.
We're not asking that everyone give $3,000, though we won't turn you down if you do. How much you give isn't the point. It's that you join in on Give Day to give what you can.
$1 can't buy a cup of coffee, but if we all pitch in, those dollars can help fund some really impressive stuff.
Your help is improving our athletic facilities. I mean, have you seen this scoreboard? It's perfect for games and movie nights.
It may not be flashy, but you've helped update the AC in Hopsigler, and that's huge.
Think about it. We've got a cadaver lab in here.
And if that isn't your thing, this digital anatomy table was also funded with help of people just like you.
Remember when we had problems with the dam? Well, we've been working with the city to replace the old bridge, add the new traffic circle.
And we welcome you back into Turner Gymnasium. It's been all SVU thus far in a defensive battle. The Knights take the opening set 25-20.
Blocking was so good for Southern Virginia. We knew that would be a strength. We saw it in action. You're getting to see a few replays of those great blocks. And again, not just the ones that lead to points for Southern Virginia. They have really been fruitful around the mesh, and they are just controlling that area for the most part. Lynchburg had some bright spots there, Joe, but the Hornets will need to play better in set 2.
Yeah, they're certainly making life difficult for those middles and those pin hitters, but we saw some flashes of momentum for Lynchburg towards the middle of that first set, and it's really just about stringing that together. It was somewhat just a little bit too little too late after they got punched in the mouth to begin the first frame.
And volleyball is so much a momentum sport. I think you can forget that sometimes. The action on the court is so good, but you do see those long runs. You see teams kind of gain confidence right before your eyes. Southern Virginia did that. Lynchburg might need some of that here in set 2.
Scipione starts off set number 2, a delicate touch that goes into no man's land. Ryan Vale, once again, the Central Wyoming College transfer, gets the Knights on the board.
Tall players, and yes, speed's going to win out, but that size, that extra inch, that 2-3 inches really can help on a ball like that.
Madland sends it across, out of play. A good eye from Williamson to watch that one through.
Yeah, it's a good read. Not always an easy read there, too, because it was in the seam. It was in that conflict zone between two players. So that adds a degree of difficulty there when you're not sure if you or your partner is going to take it.
Set upstairs by the freshman Quinn. Dug out by Bryant. Scipione to the inside. The delicate touch from DiNardo is dug out with a pancake. Now back across. Williamson popped up. A free ball the other way from Scipione. Quinn sets it upstairs. Tipped, no, just out of bounds. We've had a few of those right at the net today that have been iffy. The officials got a good look at that one.
Oh, yeah, those line judges, they're worth their weight in gold. And that is not easy to make that call under some pressure. You get it wrong, you're going to hear about it from one team or the other.
I think it might be one of the most difficult sports to officiate. Baseball's definitely up there. I think basketball's a close second as Williamson hits another kill to her total today.
Yeah, it really is. I think you're right about how tough a sport it is to officiate. Hey, that's why you got 4 out there as well, really, when you think about it. And, of course, the head referee's up on the stand, so got a little advantage there from a viewpoint.
This one sails out of play. Knights earn the point, and Fulton will go back to serve. Fulton, while a returner on this squad, initially came to Buena Vista as a transfer out of Shepherd University. And she sends it across, dug out, and this ball sails on Kate Hardy. Tied up at 3.
And let's go back to Kate Hardy for a little bit. She's been on the beach. She's been on the sand for the last 4 seasons, so knew there was going to be a learning curve as far as just getting back used to indoor volleyball. The skill set is there. The skill set is out of this world, really, for Kate Hardy. But I think it'll still take some growth, and you hope all your players are the best at the end of the season, Joe. But Hardy is one I think you can definitively say she's going to be a lot better in November than she is in early September.
Without a doubt. And the last time we saw her on the hardwood all the way back in high school, she was a stud, a great prospect coming out of school. Tallied over 1,000 kills during her high school career and was district, regional, and state player of the year in high school. As the Hornets are starting to get a little bit of momentum right here.
Yeah, they're getting that momentum, and then back to what you're saying about Hardy. Comes from an athletic background. Her mom is the volunteer coach on the bench here at Lynchburg, and she's a local volleyball legend around Central Virginia. Dad was a very good basketball player and coach in his day.
What a play from Hardy to keep it alive. Now a big swing sent back by a pair of Hornets. Seems like somebody might have gotten a piece of the net. We still haven't got whose point it is, but both sides were celebrating. They'll give it to SVU.
Yeah, somebody from Lynchburg was in the net there. It gave a number signal. No displeasure, anything from Coach Kevin Cardoza. He did not get out of his seat, so he must have been okay with the call.
And what's so interesting, not only just about Hardy, but also Brian as well, those two are grad students that have more than just 1 year of eligibility.
Yeah, that is fascinating. And, I lost track of all that stuff during the COVID era there, Joe. But you still, you're going to get some 5 and 6 years again somehow. So that's kind of cool for Lynchburg.
As you take another look at this big swing, a nice rejection there. But, yeah, you can see the piece of the net. Actually, Cardoza had a pretty good look at it. As you mentioned, didn't hop out of his seat.
I think it might have been Meinhardt on the way down. Hey, Lynchburg's got a 2-point lead. That's big.
Packer can't get it across. And this Lynchburg bench has really got some energy. They're bringing it to that.
Yeah, I love it when they dance around and have fun. And it's a big bench. I mean, it's a big roster. I believe 23 in uniform tonight, maybe 22 in uniform for Lynchburg. So they really can bring something and be a true seventh woman over there, if you will.
Bryant with some heat on that serve. A free ball the other way. Scipione across the court. Williamson can't get it down. Another beautiful defensive play that leads to a free ball for the Hornets once again. Meinhardt puts the finishing touches on it.
Beautiful shot from Ava Meinhardt. Get that in between the lines, and you keep Kate Hardy at the service line here, where she has really been cranking up that fastball. It's high velocity right now.
3 straight for Hardy and the Hornets. Back out in front by 4. And she's such an aggressive server. And that's something that this coaching staff really reinforces. They say, we'll take the errors. Yeah. When you see the last 2 or 3 possessions that didn't result in aces, but resulted in free balls going the other way and just allowed Lynchburg to play on their toes.
Exactly. It's such a high toss from Hardy. That helps. And then Yeah, that live right arm, you saw it on display. That's smoke.
Kate Hardy, how do you do? That ball's smoking. 9-5 as Bryant checks back into the contest for the defensive specialist in Barlow. And Williamson heads to the service line. Clean ball across. Up top for Madland, sent back the other way by Meinhardt. The 6-footer with a rejection.
Meinhardt with the roof. Previously, she had the great placement on the shot. Lynchburg doubling up SVU here in set 2 inside Turner Gymnasium on the campus of the University of Lynchburg.
Give Day 2022 is just around the corner, and today I'm inviting you to make history with me on Thursday, April 7th. During those 24 hours, we'll look back on 119 years and reimagine our future together. Did you know that our entire history is grounded in giving? The university we are today began in April 1903 with a gift of $100 from Dr. Josephus and Sarah Hopwood. On April 7th, we will continue that tradition of giving. So join me in supporting everything that makes this such an extraordinary place to live, learn and grow. Gifts to the Lynchburg Fund support all aspects of your Lynchburg experience. They spark innovation and seek collaboration across campus and in our community. They fund research, study abroad trips, your favorite professors and unforgettable moments. Yes, I'm talking about our
first block of the afternoon for Lynchburg.
Needed it right there as well. SVU is trying to gather a little momentum. Lynchburg stopping that in its tracks. Tori Williamson to try to extend the lead a bit.
Set up top. Packer once again can't get it across. She's slowed down a little bit offensively here in the second frame.
Yeah, great call by you. I think that's a back row attack there, so that's a little bit of a different vibe. But Lynchburg seems to be on her shots a little bit better. Blocking's getting better. And maybe just starting to figure out just a bit.
Yeah, they're starting to find those adjustments in game, and it really comes down to coaching. That's a nice heads-up play made by Hahn. She's really come alive here in the second frame.
She really impresses me at the net. Again, so much of it is timing and feel, but then you combine that with the size and the athleticism as well.
2 kills and a block here in the second set for Hahn. 3 total kills on the day. Hardy lets that one fly. A little bit of hesitation. That's where the communication comes in. You saw everyone around her saying, let it go, and bodes well for the Hornets.
Yeah, that was one of those Matrix-style dodges, although I'm dating myself a little bit because that movie's so old now that some people don't know what you're talking about when you say that. But great evasive action there. I think people know, but I just have to admit that it's like 25 years old now, or 30 maybe closer to the first one.
Williamson with a nice touch, kept alive over to Bryant, dug out by Packer. Over across, a nice little touch, a pancake laid out from Hardy. Packer keeps it going. Richens puts it up, and Weatherly puts it down.
Wow, what a rally there. Yeah, that was the thinnest of spatulas. Slid under that one. Coach Cardoza's not happy about something that happened on the SVU side, but that was an impressive fight there. I mean, again, that's what makes this sport so much fun. Those rallies like that, Joe, where you're literally less than inches away from losing the point. Somehow you keep it alive.
It's so interesting, the Richens connection to Weatherly as you take another look at that beautiful defensive play from Hardy. Those two that connected on that play each have 4 siblings. How about that? Those are some big families.
That's a big family there, and that's I think you get some athleticism in those big families because you always have somebody to go out and hit the ball with or run around in the backyard with.
Both also from the West, Utah and Idaho Falls, Idaho, respectively. This is a squad that's got a whole lot of Western blood on it.
It does, and that is of course, the connection to the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormon Church. That's SVU's got deep roots there, so that's why you will see a lot of Utah and Idaho and California and Arizona, New Mexico on the roster for really all these Southern Virginia squads.
On that last play, obviously a little bit of chaos ensues as that ball hits the ceiling. Somewhat of low ceilings here in Turner Gymnasium as that one barely goes underneath the top beam, and DiNardo almost reaches for the top beams and sends it back down to the floor. Lynchburg's second block of the day.
Solo stuff, and again, that's so skilled to be able to time that up perfectly and then get that ball in your wingspan right there. Yeah, that's super impressive.
We talk about those high beams. How much do you think that home court advantage plays a factor in a facility such as Turner?
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, and I think in volleyball it's a sport where it does play quite a bit more of a factor because of the ceiling. If you talk to the ODAC teams, this is one of the lower ceilings that they play in the conference. I'm not sure about SVU and the USA South, how low their arenas are, but it is a factor, and it's always going to be a factor. We saw it a little bit more in the men's game because the velocity is a little bit higher, so a few more of those digs get up in the ceiling. But it's one that, I think you don't need to necessarily practice it as a coach because you're going to get it when you do your inter-squad scrimmages in practice. I don't think you need to randomly chuck balls up there. But it's certainly something that is a factor. It's hard to quantify quite how much, Joe.
Well, if they need somebody to start throwing balls up at the ceiling, I'll recommend your name first.
Sure.
DiNardo winds up and puts it away.
Well, let's go back to Leah DiNardo. I mean, such a big impact in this set. I think you got to keep feeding her. I think next time you get in system, you might even hear DiNardo calling for it. You might have the setter, Scipione, saying, you're getting the next one anyway.
And offensively, to start off the season in that first weekend slate, DiNardo only had a hitting percentage of 14. And you just feel like that offensive consistency is just due to jump up. She was 5th in the ODAC last year at 31%.
Yeah, career high 17 kills last season. The high this year is just 6. She's hit that a couple of times. So to your point, maybe slightly slower start, but how about that? You can't slow that down. Keep feeding Leah DiNardo. Let her continue to eat up front.
The hot hand, DiNardo, puts Lynchburg out in front by a touchdown. 17-10, Hornets on top.
Hi, I'm Barbara Rothamel, Director of the Dara Museum of Art here at the University of Lynchburg. I'm really excited that we can show you what we do here at the Dara Museum. We hold exhibitions throughout the academic year, changing them at least once during the course of each semester. Our exhibitions range from thematic concepts, works by specific artists, and really fortunately this spring we have works of art by our art faculty. So we have many opportunities throughout the year for confronting various social issues, examining the aesthetics of art, historical aspects, and so on, with our collections of American and European paintings, drawings, prints, and sculpture.
And we welcome you back into the second set here in the Hill City. Lynchburg out in front in set number 2, 17-10, after SVU took the opening frame 25-20. The middles have really played a big part for Lynchburg here in the second set. Kyle, 9 combined kills.
DiNardo 5, Meinhardt 4. They're the top 2 Terminators on the squad right now. DiNardo almost got the left wrist under that one enough to keep it alive, but good after timeout result for Southern Virginia. That's one coach is talking about so much more in basketball. They're talking about it in volleyball too. Really makes you feel good as a coach when you get a point after you call that timeout.
Broadbent with her first kill of the day, or block of the day rather, 3rd total for SVU. Williamson winds up, has this one sent back into her lap. Now DiNardo will let it go. DiNardo, un fuego!
Yeah, and you can tell that is part of the game plan right now for Lynchburg. Keep feeding DiNardo. She is out. That means Meinhardt is in. Cassie Blackmore, libero in the red jersey, to serve.
6 kills on 9 total attacks. Only 1 error. Now you start to see that hitting percentage climb to where we're accustomed to seeing it. Scipione centers it to the floor. Williamson with a big swing, just barely over that line.
I think that's a shot you like if you're Kevin Cardoza. It's got velocity. It's to a good area. Just missed by inches or perhaps less.
Yeah, she was trying to paint that corner. Unsuccessful that time around, but don't be surprised if he tries to hit that spot again. We've talked so much about the aggressive nature of this Lynchburg team. They really play with so much confidence.
They do, and it's, again, more swings than shots. There's another one from Williamson. Wow, hammer time.
Right back at it. The libero sends a free ball the other way. Scipione right back to Williamson. Denied. It's Weatherly alongside Hahn. I mean, Hahn has been the stifle tower right in the interior.
So good up front. And, again, some of that is because Lynchburg went there back-to-back times. Same spot. Sometimes when you become a bit predictable, makes it easier for the blocking.
This time a soft touch from the middle. Packer winds up. Packer finds the kill. Her first kill of set number 2. Her 5th on the day.
Yeah, wild to think that she doesn't have a termination yet, but you're absolutely right. Now Southern Virginia, this is where they make their run. How long can they make the run? How quickly can Lynchburg get a side out and serve again?
Hardy with the set over to Williamson behind the attack line. A nice dig. And a rejection along the line. Soft touch by Packer. Make it back-to-back for the sophomore out of Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. Big swing at last possession. This time she goes with the tip, finds a donut. Kevin Cardozo does not like it. Knights are within 3.
Horses getting out of the stable a little bit for the Kentucky native. She's this team's leader offensively with just under 4.5 kills per set. And really hit that mark in the opening one. Now halfway there right now. If you're SVU, you can really take control of this contest if you can steal this set.
Absolutely. It's such a crucial moment right now. And, again, that's how good, one of the reasons why Kevin Cardozo, the head coach for Lynchburg, is so good. He felt the same thing that you just said. This is a crucial moment. He knows Southern Virginia is getting hot. Let's break that momentum, settle the team down. And there could be a tactical adjustment in there as well for Lynchburg. We'll see when they come back out. For Southern Virginia, you're saying, hey, let's just keep it going. Let's keep it going. Or are you thinking about, should we adjust ahead of time if you're Southern Virginia? Should we be prepared for what Lynchburg might change up?
It's so fascinating to see the game of chess that's played between these two phenomenal coaches going back and forth with in-game adjustments. You see Lynchburg go through the middle, and then the front line completely shifts from SVU, and you're getting an entirely different look. So after this quick timeout, should be fun to see how each squad wants to go after the other. SVU will start with possession, serving from that back line, the freshman setter, Lucy Richens. An all-state javelin thrower in high school, second team all-region. Coming out of Riverton, Utah with a beautiful dig right there. Sets it upstairs. Packer has it sent back. Williamson pops it up for Scipione. Setting up for Hardy. This dig goes right back down to the floor. There you see those low ceilings.
Hardy with 2 just monster strikes right there. I don't know how the Knights dug the first one up, but Hardy on take 2 finally get a point. And you're absolutely right about the low ceiling. In an arena, we're probably still playing, but that ball hit the rafter and then bounced straight back down.
And you got to give credit to Hardy more so than the ceilings. Because the only reason it's going up that high is the velocity that ball comes out of her hand with. Packer on the other side. Across court, that's dug out by Clark. Right through the middle, Meinhardt gives it a go. Rejected, no man's land found by number 23, Summer Hahn.
But Hahn, again, continues to impress. She has really been a standout. That is court vision right there. She saw out of the corner of her eye that open court. She saw that nobody from Lynchburg was going to get there. Just dropped it right in.
Her 4th kill thus far. Second on the team. Hardy with some heat.
Yeah, beyond the attack line there, attacking from the back row. And again, when you can do that, you can be so dynamic if you're Lynchburg. Remember, the original definition of dynamic means you can do a bunch of different things. And in Lynchburg's case, you can do them well. You can attack from so many areas on the court.
20-16, Lynchburg out in front by 4. Williamson sends it across. Dug out by Fulton. Now up top and into the net from Weatherly. We have not seen a whole lot of attacking errors in this frame.
No, attacking's been much better. I mean, both teams, you look at the percentages. Remember going back to set one, they were really low. Both teams were under 200 in set two. Lynchburg's right at 200. Southern Virginia's a little lower than I thought, 0.34 for them.
Lynchburg was in the negatives.
At one point, yeah.
I mean, they have really responded in a major way. Beautiful dig. Sets up the attack from Madeline. Now across for the Juniata transfer. And Bryant hits it into the net. Keeps it at a 4-point affair.
Lynchburg won that race to 20 this time. Go back to set one. Remember, Southern Virginia got there first, got up 21-19. That's as close as Lynchburg got. They ended up losing 25-20 in set one. Now roles are slightly reversed. Not slightly, they're completely reversed.
Williamson behind the attacking line. Tried to send that one across all the way from Yucatan into the net. Another error from Lynchburg, and we also saw a substitution on that last point. Bryant heads to the sideline. For the first time today, we get a look at the returner, Kaylee Keogh.
Keogh, so electric as a player in her first 3 seasons, and she can play anywhere on the court. Good receiver as well as an attacker.
Sends it back for Bryant. Soft touch.
Nice.
Hardy kept it alive. Keogh now, a delicate ball, a free the other way. What a play made by Richens. Keogh looking for the kill. This one sent back. A whistle blows it dead, and it looks like a Knight got a fingertip on that net.
Great exchange right there, great exchange. And again, that's one you put on the tape and you say, hey, we got to have heart, we got to have fight. These are the kind of plays that we're talking about.
Oh, that's close.
It is awfully
close. You
close.
can see the net moves a little bit at the end of that replay.
Yeah, the antenna was moving slightly.
Meinhardt sends it across. Packer with the dig. Over for Madland. And a nice response from the Knights.
Great touch there. Nobody from Lynchburg can cover in time from the back row. It's a nice job of identifying where the block is and what your options are.
Right now, if you're Lynchburg, you're okay trading points. They just don't want to get into this spot where SVU can string a couple together. On the flip side, SVU, you need to gain all the momentum in the world right now with strong defensive play. Quinn sends it across. Dug out by Williamson. Scipione, soft touch, DiNardo. What a set it has been for the sophomore.
All the shots, I'm telling you, man, she has all the shots. She's got the fastball, and right there she's got the placement, little almost a backhand there to shove it to her right and find the open court.
The changeup.
It was very nice, taking pace off, yep.
23-19. Here comes the attack from Packer. That runs far. Matt, set point, 24-19. Lynchburg looking to tie it up after the Knights took the opening set 25-20. Nearly identical frames to open this thing up. You couldn't draw them up to be more similar. Lynchburg started early, SVU got hot towards the middle, but just too little too late. With a difference of 1 point. But it had all the same signs of momentum. Kyle, we've got a good one so far.
It's been a great one so far. I'm so glad that it is going to take more than 3 sets as well, because sometimes you say that as a broadcaster. There's no way it's going to be a sweep today, and you get fooled. But, yeah, these teams are really, really close, Joe. Not a lot of separation. Set 3 is going to be a delight.
Getting your money's worth on FloSports in the Hill City.
All right, my name is Joshua Carr. I am a senior. I am a theater major as well as a history minor. I love the arts. I love acting. I love entertaining. I live in 5th Street, the historic black neighborhood. The money came in, transfer, scholarship, all that. I appreciate that greatly. I pay my own tuition. I ain't got no help. I pay everything myself. I mean, I'm smart too. So they were like, you smart, here. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that though. You come here to do a job. I came here to do a job. A student's job is to get that degree and make something of ourselves. We got everything for you. We got you a 24-hour library. You got these sorority fraternities. We got the shoot for you. Is you gonna put it on? That's how University of Lynchburg is. Success is in the details. You know what I'm saying? It's like you learn it, know better, do better. What I love is they allow us to speak. They want our voices to be heard. They want us to talk. They want us to bring up the discomfort. They respect our point of views. They respect Black Lives Matter. They respect the LGBT community. They respect those, you know what I'm saying? That's what I love about my school. They respect that and they allow us to showcase and voice our expressions. I love the diversity here. I love the different interests of people here. I can act, dance, sing, box, play football. I can do it all, you know what I'm saying? I can teach somebody that doesn't know what I know, and that person can teach me something that I don't know that they know. That's what you get here. You get diversity, you get different people with different knowledge coming together, sharing information and helping each other out. That's what I love. That's why I say people. I love the people here. College, think about it. If it's not for you, fall back. If it's for you, go further with it. And University of Lynchburg will be that choice. It's gonna be right there. They're gonna shoot, make the shoot. They're gonna do what it do.
And we welcome you back into Turner Gymnasium. The Knights took the opening set 25-20. Lynchburg with a response to equalize it after a 25-19 win.
Leah DiNardo really heating up in set 2. She's got 8 terminations already through 2 sets. That's a season high already for her. So obviously that tells you what you and I were talking about, Joe. DiNardo, previous season high was 6. Those were in 5-set affairs. This has only been 2 sets. She's got 8. So that'll be a big key for Southern Virginia. How do we slow down and maybe stop Leah DiNardo, the middle, who is doing so much right now for Lynchburg?
And you would think that your own middles is the greatest way to counter them, and they've played phenomenal today. That interior's collected 4 blocks so far for SVU, and it's really been a whole lot of Summer Hahn.
Summer Hahn's really been impressive up front, and she moves so well. I mean, she gets side to side quickly, and I've been, again, impressed with her feel just as far as timing up the jumps go. Summer Hahn is a force. We'll see if she can shut down Leah DiNardo solo one-on-one. That's the thing about attacking with your middle. It's almost always going to be one-on-one. You're rarely going to get a second blocker over there.
Keough sent one that could have gone way out of play. It got a little bit of an assist from the beam right there. Nevertheless, the free ball the other way, capitalized on by the Knights to take the opening point in set 3.
Well, and that's interesting, back to our ongoing discussion.
Yeah.
The beam and the ceiling, they don't always hurt you. Sometimes they could end up helping you in a situation maybe.
Big swing, DiNardo. And a violation on the Knights. Got a piece of that net once again. Take another look at it.
Love this replay angle right here. There she goes again, DiNardo. Expect Lynchburg to continue to get her the rock.
Up top, Madeline. Dug out by Keough. Now up top for Hardy, who can't get it across. Hardy so far today. 4 kills on 13, now make it 14 total attacks. 4 kills, 4 errors. Keough once again has trouble with a dig.
Serving continues to be good for Southern Virginia. I believe it's ace number 6 for the visitors. Lynchburg, for reference, has 3 aces, 5 serving errors for the Hornets.
Keough we saw in 4 sets over that opening weekend slate as the serve is sent into the net. And we talk so much about the depth that this team now has. Really at the outside and at the setter spot are those main 2 positions that we're seeing the most competition. And early in the season, everybody's trying to earn a spot.
Exactly. A healthy competition is a great thing. I think in any gym, but particularly when you have a team that's ready to take the next step, ready to try to win a conference championship and get in an NCAA tournament. I think that competition is very, very healthy. It's going to make everybody on Lynchburg's squad better by year's end.
Scipione to Meinhardt, looking for her 9th kill of the day. This one sent back, and Aubrey Packer closes out the point.
Yeah, Packer seems to find a way, doesn't she? We didn't call her name much in set 2, but you just know her talent is so hard to hide. She's going to get activated again, and might be happening right here. Knights by 3.
Once again, Keogh having trouble with that receive. You got to credit the service line that we're seeing from Southern Virginia right now, really making life difficult for the Hornets.
Yeah, they're good back there, and you can see Coach John Baker, he's giving the signals, giving the zones or the players back there where he wants the serve to go.
Keogh with a push. Up top, Quinn lays it up. Scipione on the far side of the court, and Hardy with a cross-court kill.
Velocity can do so much for you, Joe. You don't have to have perfect placement when you can hit it through blockers.
Six to 3, Knights out in front. We've seen each respective side take a heavy advantage in the opening moments of the first and second set. Meinhardt with a big-time ball, pounds it through.
Great idea to go back to the middle. It had been Leah DiNardo quite a bit in set 2, but Meinhardt more than capable of being a wrecking ball up front as well. Watch this high toss from Hardy on the serve. This is something that you see so much in the men's game, not as much with the women, but Hardy can do it. Just adds that extra velocity because of the high toss.
Good dig from Williamson on one knee. And Keogh puts it through. Her first kill of the day. That one's got to feel good if you're Keogh. You need a little bit of a confidence boost. That's just her 3rd kill of the season.
Yeah, wild to say that when she is in the Lynchburg volleyball record book for some single season stuff, some single game accolades. Kaylee Keogh has really been a force her last 3 seasons. So, yeah, to say it's only her 3rd kill, kind of surprising, but she is another one, not short on talent at all.
SVU with a nice response. Yeah, I mean, last year had 290 kills. The year prior, 258. And her freshman season with 192. And that kills per set has always been over 2 and really averaged around 2.5.
Yeah, beach player as well, so she can go all 6 rotations, really understands the game.
Meinhardt continues to cook. She's standing on business. 9 kills today.
That 1-2 punch from Lynchburg's middles, Ava Meinhardt, Leah DiNardo. So big and so important to Lynchburg's success last year. Looks like it's going to be again this season.
Scipione up for Meinhardt. Nice dig from Madeline. Now Packer tries to push it through. Meinhardt, a 2-shoot. Dug out over to Packer once again, and a nice play made from the libero. But another violation on the Hornets. Looks like this one might have gone against Meinhardt on the interior.
Yeah, I think she got in the net again. Hard to see. I thought Lynchburg defensively was very sound on that sequence.
Scipione across the floor. What a dig. Hahn into the net after it was popped up by Weatherly. Lynchburg trading punches right now. 7-8. Knights out in front. This is the most competitive early stages we've had of a frame thus far.
Yeah, you're right. We actually had 4 ties and 4 lead changes in set 1, Joe, but it didn't feel like that. Feels like we've got another tie right now, all knotted up at 8 apiece.
Reinhardt with the first service ace for Lynchburg since the first frame. 4th one of the afternoon.
Yeah, Meinhardt is the middle that will serve. Leah DiNardo typically does not serve, but that means DiNardo is in the front row right now. So let's see if Lynchburg gets it to her quickly.
Weatherly squeaks it through. You had the middle right there in DiNardo. Just didn't have the angle on it. Knights back out in front. Hahn at the net. I mean, that's a mismatch. They call that mouse in the house. You got the setter and Scipione battling against Ryan Vale, the middle blocker.
Yeah, and that overpass, it doesn't do Scipione any favors as far as winning that matchup goes. You want that set to be close to the net, but that one was over the net, and that's a problem.
Good eye from Keogh and company to let that one fly. Now Scipione will retreat to the service line. 9-10. Dug out by Packer. Over across. What a block! DiNardo says no.
Another DiNardo denial. She, again, I think this is clearly her best match of the season. I think that might be an understatement, but this is a sign of what she's capable of. This is a sign why Coach Cardoza and his coaching staff thinks she can be one of the best ever to set foot in Turner Gymnasium.
I like that DiNardo denial.
It rolls off the tongue, especially when she does it so much.
She puts the no in DiNardo.
I love that. Love that.
Madeline with the attack error.
Lynchburg snatching that lead back. Let's see if they can keep foot on the accelerator and not let Southern Virginia get close. Try to run away with it right here.
First time Lynchburg is led in set number 3. Packer, a little too much. Tried to paint the outside edge.
Fantastic read again from Morgan Clark. Red libero jersey. It was at her eyes. She knew she was in good position, so she let it go. That's veteran savvy right there, in addition to just having the skill set coming in.
Dug out by Packer, over to the middle blocker. Scipione right there. Now Clark puts it up top. Miscommunication leads to a free ball the other way. Madeline, a soft touch. Beautiful from Scipione once again. Williamson from behind the attack line. It's dug out by Fulton. And the rejection from Williamson. Now the attack. Dug out once again from Fulton. Madeline sends it across. Scipione upstairs. Hardy puts it through. What a play from Kate Hardy.
Statement point. Statement point. Lynchburg attacked out of system a few times, Joe. Then when they got in the system, it was all over when Kate Hardy got the right arm on the ball.
(13-10) Hornets. Richens. A pop over the top. In the middle. DiNardo with an aggressive ball that's dug out. Now Madeline's tries to respond the other way. Scipione right back to her. Give and go! She's got the green light, ladies and gentlemen. Tori Williamson puts Lynchburg out in front by 4, and the Bakers want to talk things over. 14-10, Lynchburg out in front of Southern Virginia. Joe Brennan joined alongside Kyle Haney in the first home game of the 2025-26 school year here at Lynchburg. Things starting to heat up. Class is back in action. Always a fun time.
It's like Christmas, and we got this new connection with FloSports, Flow College, to up our game a little bit. It's going to be a great year on campus here and around the Old Dominion Athletic Conference.
Scipione with a great dig to keep it alive. Now over to Hardy. What a block! The denial coming from the middle blocker in Ryan Vale. Led her team in blocks a season ago at Central Wyoming College. He's also fourth on that squad in kills. Part of 5 new transfers this season for the Knights. We touched on that group a lot, and they have made a serious impact, both with the transfers and in the freshmen. And you're seeing at the service line right now in Talia Quinn. Tori Williamson. Now Madeline gives it a go. This one sent back the other way. They're setting it up for Vale. Vale with the block kept alive. Williamson will try it to the back line, just a tick too far.
A good exchange there. Don't hate the shot from Tori Williamson. You know your team is a little bit out of order and disorganized because the way you had to scramble. So why not take a chance there, try to drop that one on the back line. And again, Tori just missed. I mean, really, you think about Tori Williamson misses tonight. They're all awfully close, Joe.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's been so great to see the excellent shooting. Wow, yeah, 2 officials with different calls right there. Well, the near side official called it in down the line. The far side official called it out. They went with his call.
Yeah, and he's looking right down the end of that line right there. So that's the vantage point. And once again, didn't see anybody from the Lynchburg bench jump up to disagree. So good call. Southern Virginia's within 1. Ooh, almost tied it up with a nasty serve there, but Lynchburg back up a deuce.
Hornets up by a pair. Tori Williamson with the serve. Center of the floor. Packer tipped it up. DiNardo tips it right back down.
Strong serve leads to the overpass again. And that's just candy for Leah DiNardo. She just jumps so well. Very nice touch.
What kind of candy?
Oh, we need to poll Leah DiNardo there, but I don't know. What's this?
Like a crunch?
No, I think something with some nougat, something softer, because it's just soft and it's just floating up there.
I'll give you 3 Musketeers.
Yeah. There you go. Or a cotton candy. That's super soft. Doesn't get much softer than that.
The last 2 sets, it's felt like a payday for Ava Meinhardt and Leah DiNardo in the middle, making their money's worth. Another ace for the Hornets here in set number 3. This one coming via Tori Williamson. And once again, the Bakers want to talk about what's cooking. Lynchburg up by 5, 18-13. We'll keep it here, Kyle. It's been back and forth all day long. This one a little bit more unusual than we've seen in the first 2 sets where SVU started out in front, then Lynchburg reclaimed the lead.
Yeah, this one, Lynchburg, if you remember, when we got to 10-10 and Lynchburg got the point, I kind of said, hey, this is the moment. If you can keep your foot on the accelerator, now's the time to do it. Go all gas, no brake. Hasn't exactly been like that, but you see Lynchburg has turned that 10-10 tie into a 5-point lead now. Another smart timeout, I think, by Southern Virginia because, again, if we sense it's a critical moment, the coaches do as well.
Without a doubt. A 9-3 run since that 9-10 mark where then Lynchburg tied it up at double digits apiece. But it has been really interesting to see how they've gone back and forth. And once again, it seems like Lynchburg is really finding their success through their middle players.
I think so. Middle action from Lynchburg has been so much better in sets 2 and 3. Serving's been a lot better for Lynchburg in sets 2 and 3 as well, Joe. So those 2 areas, I think if we're looking at 2 big things that stand out, got to be the serving and then the play in the middle.
Williamson lets it fly. Popped up from Packer. Madeline, a little fadeaway attack. Scipione now for Keogh with a nice little push shot that runs wild. It'll be a free ball the other way. Dug out by Hardy, set up by Scipione. The middle, once again, DiNardo.
Just so good. Great exchange to get her a very good set. You know, let's not leave Scipione out. I don't think we've thrown enough praise her way. She is setting the ball very nicely, and she is setting those middles more and more. A lot of times the first set will be called, but after that, it's on the setter. Scipione's done well tonight.
Yeah, Scipione has had such an immediate impact. Wow, that one called out. SVU unhappy about that call, and I think they've got a good argument, but doesn't seem like this one will be appealed.
5 in a row after that timeout, Joe. This is not what the Knights wanted.
But Scipione comes in to a program that returns a player that was injured last year, who was really the heartbeat of the program at that setter spot in Maya Green, who was then replaced by Jane Alik, who had one of the best seasons all time for a Lynchburg setter, was 7th in her season as a starter last year with 904 assists, the second most in the ODAC as well. And then Scipione comes in, has 51 assists in her first game as a Hornet. I mean, the Richard Bland transfer has really shown what she can do for this year's squad.
Yeah, she brings so much. And if you talk to Coach Cardozo, another point for Lynchburg,
wow.
Joe. They're rolling now, 7 in a row after that timeout.
Unbelievable.
And since that 10-10 tie, it's a 12-3 run. But, yeah, Scipione, she's had major competition, and Coach Cardozo will tell you, hey, there is not a lot of separation between her, Leak, and Green, and even the other setters that are on the roster, but Scipione's just giving us the best look right now.
Beautiful ball pounded from Vale. That one really flirted right over the top of the net. A nice heads-up play. And once again, we go back to talking about it. It's the best problem that a coach can have is too much depth. What a swing. You can see the wind-up from Vale. Those arms go so far back.
Yeah, it's impressive. That's another thing that size gives you. It gives you a longer arm swing.
DiNardo showing the Lynchburg size on the other end. The 6-footer pounding another one through. A thumper.
That's, again, you just start to run out of adjectives. Watch it again. There's Olympic volleyball players that can't handle that shot. I mean, that was a missile.
23-14. Lynchburg out in front. SVU trying to spark a rally. But this one runs wide from Aubrey Packer. The Lynchburg front line has done a great job of adjusting and watching her, trying to make her slow down, because she had a phenomenal opening set, and that's the one where SVU came away with a victory. Since then, they've done a great job of keeping her quiet.
For sure. The adjustment Lynchburg made after set 1, I think it's a great call by you to make sure that did not go unnoticed. SVU alive, at least for the moment anyway. Lynchburg's on set point.
And it goes back to what Cardozo was telling us pregame. You know, they might not be racking up the block numbers, but they're making life difficult for a lot of those attackers. Upstairs, Meinhardt puts the nail in the coffin for set number 3. The widest margin we've seen in a frame today, 25-15. Lynchburg takes it by double digits and takes back-to-back sets to go up 2-1.
My name is Davion Washington Jr. I have the honor of serving as the student body president. I have 5 little siblings. I'm the oldest of 6 siblings, and they look up to me. I'm setting the tone. I get to develop myself, make myself a better individual, but also I'm helping future generations, not even my family, but just future generations in general. I found my passion here. I found, the love for what I want to do. I just really had an amazing time here. It's changed, my outlook on life. You don't have to be famous to change lives. You don't have to be on the big screen or whatever. I change lives now, and I hope to continue to do that. Just same way that the University of Lynchburg has changed my life for the better.
I was really attracted to Lynchburg primarily because my dad went here. He is an alum, so I kind of had that close tie of being interested in the school, and the school had what I wanted to study. I knew I wanted to help people in the area of health and wellness, so the health promotion program was definitely a program that drew me in, and from day one I've been in love with it, and I wouldn't have chosen any different. I have never had better professors or teachers in my life, and I think here at the University of Lynchburg, the professors definitely care about their students, especially in the health promotion department. These professors want you to be educated, want you to have the experience, and just want you to feel confident going into your career path following your collegiate education. You just feel like you're cared for here and that you matter, and that no matter what, at the end of the day, you're going to be successful, and the people here really want to be here, and everyone has a purpose, and it's just a great environment to be in.
The Lynchburg Hornets out in front of the Southern Virginia Knights. His sun begins to set here in Lynchburg, Virginia. The Hornets with their most dominant victory of the day, a 25-15 win in the third frame. Kyle?
Hornets swung it at .320 as a team, best attacking percentage of the night for them. And how about Leah DiNardo, the night she is having? She's hitting .647, pretty much unconscious. 12 terminations, 1 error. That's on 17 swings, and she's thrown a couple blocks in there as well. Leah DiNardo has been one of the big stars. We have not seen Jacqueline Bryant as much here in sets 2 and 3, Joe. It's been more Kaylee Keough. So this is back to what we talked about, the competitiveness. Kaylee Keough did not play much this first weekend, but she's very much in the mix here in set 3, and Keough on the floor to begin set 4 as well.
And DiNardo's counterpart in the interior with Meinhardt, also hitting 500, 7 kills on 14 total attempts. DiNardo, great defense on the interior.
Yeah, DiNardo and Hardy that time teaming up. But go back to Meinhardt and DiNardo combined. That's a great way to slow down that great blocking game from Southern Virginia. Go to your middles more. They're going to have one-on-ones pretty much the entire time.
Aggressive serving from the Hornets. Doesn't show up in the ace column. That one all got started from the service line with Scipione.
Scipione had 5 aces coming in. I know she's got a couple tonight. She's a weapon back there as well, in addition to being a great setter.
Now you see it right here once again. Free ball the other way. Dug out by Clark. Scipione over for Williamson. Buries it.
That's what having production from the middles can do as well. You open up the outsides too. You give Tori Williamson a lot of room to hit. Kate Hardy has had some major moments in this game swinging from the outside. So it's all working well for Lynchburg right now.
Set up top by Ritchie. Scipione. Oh, a low feed. Gives a nice opportunity to the Knights. Packer with a big swing. DiNardo and Hardy shake their head going back to the huddle saying, it's all right. We can let him have that one.
I think Scipione wanted DiNardo to take that set, but Leah maybe just hadn't gathered after a previous jump, so couldn't get to that one.
How about the composure coming from the sophomore right there, just immediately shrugging it off?
Yeah, again, her temperament combined with her skill set, I think is the reason why the coaches believe she could be one of the best ever. And that's a lot to put on a player's shoulders. I mean, that's a bit of a weight, but Leah DiNardo can handle it. I mean, she's just that kind of player.
Yeah, that kind of freshman season, trying to carry that momentum into her sophomore campaign, has definitely done so thus far, especially here tonight. Clark puts it up top. Hardy with some heat. You can book it.
That was nice from Hardy. Good little bump set, platform set from Morgan Clark. Sometimes in the modern game, the libero becomes your second setter, your de facto setter when you're out of system. Morgan Clark has really underrated that part of the game there. She's pretty good with those bump sets.
She's come into this contest averaging over 3.5 kills a set. Just under that mark for tonight. She's made plays in a variety of different ways as the attack air keeps it with Williamson on that back line. This is a Lynchburg squad that's really trying to build off last year's success. Went 19-12 as that ball sails out of bounds. They lost in the ODAC semis, but this is a team that hosted an ODAC playoff game for the first time since 2016 and had their first ODAC playoff win since 2017.
Yeah, started 4-1 last year. A little bit of a lull, and then from September 18th on, it was 13-5 for Lynchburg. That's when they started trying to go with that up-tempo offense a bit more, and it really worked out.
You know, we're talking a little about 2024. On SVU's side, they had a phenomenal campaign. 22-12, won the USA South regular season and postseason tournament. As this ball's dug out, Scipione up top for the middle. Can't find the dead zone. And ended up in that NCAA tournament, but really did not go their way at the end of the year. Lost in the first round, 0-3 to Trinity. Got swept, and you see they're coming out this season really looking to make their way back to the NCAA tournament. And this squad's got so much talent. We take another look at that play. That Tool out of bounds. Lynchburg with a lot of momentum here, 6-3 in the early stages of the fourth set. Oh, what a swing. Weatherly put it away, cuts it back down to 2.
We haven't heard from Weatherly a ton, but she's got the frame and the right arm to be very explosive. But yeah, Southern Virginia USA South champs last year. And the USA South is not a slouch in volleyball. It looks like Lynchburg was 2-2 against USA South teams last year. They beat SVU, lost to William Peace in Greensboro, and then Lynchburg also beat North Carolina Wesleyan last season.
And last year, this SVU team was probably one of, if not the best non-conference win that they had. And you look at the first 4 games they played this year, all 4 of those wins, just if you're going strictly by an RPI standpoint, stronger than any win they had out of conference last year.
Yeah, beefed up schedule this year, higher expectations, and that can be scary. I mean, that can be scary, but Lynchburg really withstood some very good early season tests this weekend in New Jersey. Last weekend, I guess you should say.
To the middle, through the middle. That's been the recipe to success today. Ava Meinhardt starting to cook.
Yeah, love Ava Meinhardt's game. I mean, since she stepped foot on campus, she's one that you just can't deny has the talent to be great. She is great. I think her game has really come a long way since those early years back in 2023.
Yeah, I think she's someone, if you're going to point to a great beneficiary from Cardoza and really the change in the system he brought, she's one of really the top of the names on that list. Cardoza came in and brought a real high intensity, a faster style of play, and really likes to feed those middle players. And we've seen DiNardo and Meinhardt just have their own way today. And now you add in strong outsides as well, like we've seen with Hardy and Bryan and Keogh. Of course, Williamson in that mix. And offensively, this team has more firepower than any year in recent memory.
Oh, it really, I agree. And you got some players that can serve well and be dangerous from the serve line. I mean, when Lynchburg gets it all going, this is a fully operational battle station. I mean, this team has so much firepower. And speaking of which, right there on cue, we get a big shot.
Keogh with a blast. Puts Lynchburg out in front, 9-6. She'll head back to the service line. Softball over across. Hardy puts it up top for Williamson. You can count it.
That's nice when you've got a former Beach player that can also set. Talking about Kate Hardy there. Very nice the way she stepped in after Scipione took the first touch.
Touch shot. What a nice recovery. momentarily looked like it was going to be a free ball the other way, and just an excellent push from the veteran in Madeline. That's what you get from somebody that started all 34 contests for you last year, just the experience that she brings to the table.
Yeah, great placement right in the middle of the donut there.
Scipione up for Meinhardt. Popped away. Packer behind the attacking line, dug out by Williamson. Right back to her. Give and go. And looks like somebody got a piece of that net. Lynchburg wins the point.
Strong stuff from Lynchburg. It was a moment in there where it looked like the Knights were going to get some traction themselves, but it feels like Lynchburg's got everything going their way again. Yeah, that time it looked like it was on the way up. Typically get the net contact on the way down, but not always, obviously.
Meinhardt with a strong serve. Madeline sets it up for Packer. Dug out by Keogh. Scipione, opposite side. Tori Williamson, oh my goodness. Put some velocity behind that one. Packer sends it over. Scipione through the middle. DiNardo recovers with the rebound. Williamson, oh, Lynchburg can't keep it alive. Almost a beautiful recovery from Williamson and Meinhardt. What a phenomenal job by that SVU front line to just make life difficult. They were constantly chasing rebounds like everybody on the team was Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, great job at the top of the tape there. Nearly a circus-style lift from Tori Williamson, but just couldn't slide any fingertip under.
Williamson and Meinhardt, the two all-conference players for Lynchburg a season ago, both checked in on that third team. Williamson putting on a show, a little spin there, having some fun.
On the rebuild, Kate Hardy comes flying in on the cover here to keep this ball alive. Again, Kate Hardy, in the last 4 or 5 points, has not scored, but she's absolutely doing the hard work out there for Lynchburg to keep plays alive. And here's a great serve from Scipione. Hornets are rolling again.
And I go back to talking about Williamson and Meinhardt making the all-conference third team. They came into the preseason press conference this year and said they have a chip on their shoulder. They said, we got something to prove. We're not happy with third team. We deserve to be on the first team. And right now, it looks like this Lynchburg squad has got a whole host of all-conference players.
I love it. I think that's what the great teams have. However you need to motivate yourself, whether it's a chip on your shoulder, you feel like you got slighted, whatever it takes to motivate yourself. And I think those great teams, they do that. Not every player is unique like that in that way where you'll say, all right, I'm better than that. But Lynchburg has some of those players, and it's really paying off. And again, still a long season, a lot of hard work, Joe, but this is the start that we thought we would see from the Hornets.
Yeah, a long season without a doubt. But also right now, Scipione looks like she could be one of, if not the best setters in ODAC.
Oh, I totally agree. I think at the moment she does lead the conference in sets and or assist per set,
yeah.
Excuse me. So she's showing it. And she's got so much firepower at her disposal. She has offensive resources. She can go wherever she needs to go. And again, she's got a live right arm. She can score from the service line as well. Haven't seen Scipione do any setter dumps yet. I wonder if she'll have to sneak that into her game at some point as the season goes on. You get more and more of a file on those attackers, so sometimes your setter has to sneak one in here or there on her own.
32 assists and counting for Scipione. Also a pair of service aces. She's one of 3 Hornets with 2 service aces today. As a squad, they've got 8. Dug out by Richin. Big swing, dug out by Clark. Now Williamson lets it go. Over to Madeline, pushes it across. Up top, DiNardo, rejected. What a play made by Hahn. Continuing to send attacks the other direction.
Yeah, that time DiNardo did face the double. I believe the third blocker was even sliding in there as well. So that means for Lynchburg, it's time to change up again. Don't become predictable where you just go middle. Keep Southern Virginia honest here, and look at that. Lynchburg goes right to Hardy.
Oh my goodness. Kate Hardy with some habanero sauce on that swing.
Yeah, don't let the defense find out that you're just being one-dimensional, and Lynchburg never has to be one-dimensional, again, with these offensive resources.
Soft touch that can't get across. I mean, when Hardy just gets a hold of one, it feels like a perfect. It's just going out of the ballpark. I mean, it is really something to see just what she can bring to this team offensively. And you talked about the ability to set as well. I know you're a big baseball guy. It feels like the five-tool player.
Oh, absolutely. She is every bit of that. In volleyball, the term is six-rotation player. It means she never has to come off the court. She can do anything. Nearly lifted that one. DiNardo was downstairs as well, trying to keep it off the hardwood. But good fight from Southern Virginia. Excuse me. Keep saying Central Virginia. It's Southern Virginia University. Not a long trip from Central Virginia. You could call Buena Vista still Central Virginia if you wanted to.
DiNardo, soft touch. Beautifully executed. Perfect placement.
And that's her savvy. She knew she faced a double. Last shot, last attempt. So that time just a little push away down the line. Find a piece of the paint.
The Knights starting to get to that stage where you really need to start stringing some points together. And a free ball the other way. Sets up Keogh. Oh my goodness. Ricocheted right off the noggin.
Always a little embarrassing when you're on the receiving end of that, but boy, as a high flyer like Kaylee Keogh, it feels pretty good when you give that shot.
And it happens to the best of them. I saw it in the Kentucky-Nebraska game this weekend.
Yeah, it happens a lot, again, especially at the higher levels. Yeah, their hands are quicker, but the ball goes quicker too. I mean, it really is part of the game, and again, it's one that new fans kind of laugh about it. Oh, she got hit in the head, but it happens quite a bit.
Pair of substitutions come on for the Knights. Talia Quinn alongside Emma Broadbent. Pair of freshmen in for SVU. Sent over. Hardy having a party.
That was that touch she couldn't get in set one. That time she got the touch with the high hands. Excellent shot from Hardy.
And we'll step away momentarily. Lynchburg out in front, 18-11. Lynchburg 7 points away from the finish line.
Get small classes, nationally recognized mentoring and advising, and a community that has your back every step of the way at the University of Lynchburg.
At the University of Lynchburg, we've lowered our tuition, so you get a better value for a great education. Come see our campus for yourself.
And we welcome you back in to LHSN on Flow College. Joe Brennan, Kyle Haney. 7's the magic number right now. SVU trailing by 7. Lynchburg 7 away from that 25 to seal this thing up. Hornets out in front 2-1 as the Knights get the kill off the tool.
If Lynchburg wins it, Joe, it'll be the third time this season they've dropped set one and then come back and gotten the victory. It would be their first four-setter of the season. Remember, they went to full 5, first 2 matches. Next 2 were sweeps. This is match number 5. Neither team has a loss yet, but SVU's got to really get busy if they want to keep the sheet clean.
Keogh with his soft touch. Madeline just pushes it the other way. Scipione back over to Keogh. Ball still in play at the scores table, kept alive. Oh, baby, what a play. Diving bodies all over the floor. Packer dug out by Clark. Keogh once again rejected. What a defensive stand from the Knights.
That's one you can build on if you're Southern Virginia, and not just this evening, in the future. You can hang your hat on that and say, hey, this is our blood, sweat, and tears kind of play right here. You stick with it, you can get a great result. Yeah, into the scores table. That's, again, one of the best things about the sport of volleyball. Not that you want players having to go through tables, but, it's just there's a high degree of difficulty there.
And Aaron's serve runs long. It started to feel like that could be a spark that really ignites the fire to get you back into this affair. And right now, every point's so valuable. Clark up top. Keogh from the back line. Not enough juice. 14-19. Lynchburg leads. SVU trying to stay in this ball game.
Little crack in the door here for SVU. Lynchburg obviously not even close to panicking by any means. But if you're Kevin Cardozo, you want to see your team sprint to that finish line. You don't want to just limp across the line.
Tori Williamson. Packer. Across the net. There's that ball. You've been waiting for it. And SVU was ready for it. Keogh, a one-handed fist. A nice attempt at it, but not enough mustard on it to keep it alive. 19-15. Here come the Knights.
Yeah, like the effort here from Southern Virginia. Almost did it again. Jeez, love the effort from Southern Virginia. This is how you got to fight. This is how you got to fight. May not result in a comeback, but Coach Baker's going to love this from her team.
Nice little hurdle over her own teammate to keep it going. Williamson, soft touch, ricocheted off two Knights, and Lynchburg back out in front by 5.
Adjustment there from Tori Williamson. Took a swing last time. That time decided to go with a shot, and it paid off.
See the defensive effort from Talia Quinn.
You gotta like that.
Jumping over Weatherly. Meinhardt. Quinn up top. Packer with his soft touch. Beautiful recovery from Williamson. Lynchburg will send a free ball the other way. Quinn, a two-shoot. Pancake, what a ball! Packer soars it long, but a tip gives SVU the point.
Meinhardt just couldn't stop, drop, and roll fast enough. Another great exchange, though. How about Hardy on one knee, slapping it over? Again, she just does all those things that are going to show up in the stat sheet, and then Kate Hardy does a lot of things that don't show up in the stat sheet.
Yeah, 3 players hit that ball and send it over, and none of them were on their feet. Certainly got the fans here on them. DiNardo, soft touch, popped up. Hardy keeps it in play. Free ball the other way, sent from Clark. Fulton pops up. Now Richin. And here come the Knights.
Looks like Kevin Cardozo is contemplating a timeout. Now he's just going to walk to the sideline and have a word with Tori Williamson.
It feels like he's 1 point away.
Yeah, that's a good call. I think it's a good call by you.
Going back to Williamson, feeding the well.
And that's the beauty of being up 2-1 instead of down. You have the ability as a coach to let your team figure it out on their own and self-organize a little bit. When you're down in that situation, Coach Cardozo's, calling the timeout probably even quicker. But now he can let the 6 on the court trying to get it together themselves, and it seems like they maybe are.
Packer wanted a tip, didn't get the call. Lynchburg 3 points away from wrapping it up. Lynchburg has won the last 3 meetings between these two sides. They took last year's affair in 4 sets on the road. They control the series since 2012, 8-7. Dug out by Clark. Up top looking for Hardy. The ricochet kept alive, but eventually finds the floor. 23-17.
This is that sprint to the finish that I mentioned Coach Cardozo was probably looking for. This is not first gear. He wants to see a couple really big points here to close it out. Get to fifth gear if you're Lynchburg.
There's that aggressive serving. Sometimes it can cost you. Lynchburg with 8 aces today. That's their 10th service error.
Yeah, I think that's a number that the coaching staff isn't going to love, but all errors are not created equal. Again, when you got a team on the ropes, I think sometimes that's when you try to go with that really, really good serve, that really, really nasty serve.
And I also think Lynchburg has earned a heck of a lot more points as Williamson tabs another for the match point coming up. That 8 number doesn't necessarily tell the whole story because we've seen Lynchburg win a whole lot of points tonight off a serve that wasn't credited as an ace, and rather a free ball the other way that somebody took advantage of on the return. As you see the play right here from Williamson. How about the setup right there?
One-hander. She's got them all, but you're absolutely right about the tough serving.
Williamson looking to put the icing on the cake, make that 8 and 9. Aces on the day. The first of many victories here in Turner Gymnasium this season was.
Great win there for Lynchburg. After dropping set number 1, I don't think Coach Cardozo had to go and yell at anybody and scream in between sets 1 and 2. He just said, hey, we've got to play better volleyball. Lynchburg did. Some tactical adjustments for sure, and the Hornets get it going for win number 5 on the season. Undefeated at 5-0, Joe. I believe they started 7-0 back in 2016, but that might be a goal on the list now. Let's have the best start in franchise history, potentially.
I think the main goal right now is take that banner down at the end of the year and put it up with a big 2-0-2-5 on it. Lynchburg lost the first set 25-20, then swept the next 3, 25-19, 25-15, and 25-18 to close things out in set number 4. That'll do it for us here in the Hill City. It's been Joe Brennan alongside Kyle Haney. A big thank you to our stellar production crew and Jake Hart, Sebastian, Kevin on camera, JP running graphics, Grayson running replay, and of course our main man Ethan Morotsky, your director and producer tonight. That's all we've got in store for you. Thank you so much. We'll be back in action on Friday for women's soccer live from Schellenberger Field. Till then, so long and have a good one.